So this is what a typical contouring palette will look like. That is by MAC, but what I like to use is 2 different colors of our foundation, the lighter one being ivory and the darker one being a color called cinnamon. It's in a tester size right here, but it does come in a larger size. And those 2 can provide the colors that you need for contouring, and they're also waterproof and they work with our makeup. So this is one of the brushes you'll be using. It's a larger, fluffier brush for larger areas of contouring. And then you're going to use this smaller, skinnier brush to contour areas that are harder to get into. And you can see it has a really thin look to it. Lastly, you're going to use a eyeshadow brush or like a blending brush to do your nose and your eyes. So this is the ivory color. We're going to squirt a little bit onto the cap of the foundation. You're going to use your small blending brush, the little eyeshadow brush. You're going to put a little bit on the tip of the brush, and we're going to start at the bridge of the nose. We want to do the lighter color first so that we are not blending dark colors into our lighter colors. And then we're also going to do under the eyes where we have bags and we want to use a little concealer, but you're only going to go along the edge of the bag and the side of the nose. Don't go directly under the eye, otherwise a lot of the foundation can settle into the little cracks and crevices and little fine lines under the eyes. Especially if you have mature skin, you want to stay away from putting a lot of foundation directly under your eyes. So we're going along the outer edge of the brow at the top and just under the eye on the brow bone. And you can see I made a V shape, and then again, staying away from that area right underneath the eye. And just kind of lightly contouring right along the nose and that little V shape on the... This technique will brighten up the eyes. Also, we're going to go right in between the eyebrows and just kind of feather it out as you go. And you're going to really brighten up the eyes this way and brighten up the forehead. You're also going to extend your highlighting over top of your eyebrow. I know this looks really funny as we're doing it, but this whole technique is to brighten up that area of the face that you see that we have already highlighted. And then lastly, we're going to brighten up right over the top of the lip. It kind of gives your top lip a curled look, so it kind of accentuates that top lip and will make it look a little bit bigger and make your lipstick stand out more. So now we are ready for the darker color. We're using cinnamon, and the first place we are going to do is we're going to contour the cheekbone. When you contour your cheekbone, you're going to go from the top of the ear down along the lower edge of the cheekbone. You can see right where the brush I put there. You're going to take the color, start at the ear, at the hairline, and draw a line, or you can dot right under the cheekbone with the darker color. Next, we're going to do the jawline. You can see I have this small jowl. You're going to actually create a jawline for yourself. Starting at the ear, you're going to draw and go up over the top of that jowl, not underneath. So we're creating a jawline by doing this. We are drawing in where we want our jawline, and we're going to darken everything underneath that just a little bit to shade it and shadow it so it doesn't look like the neckline is sagging down below. And this way you can create a jawline. Next, we're going to contour the nose. So you're going to start at your brow and go right alongside the nose. Go to where you're close to the tip and then draw downwards towards where the nostril flares out. And I actually go a little bit more into the tip of my nose and then flare the nostril because my nostrils tend to be a little bit bigger. The last place we're going to do is the forehead. So you're going to start at your forehead and go just to your temple. If you have a heart-shaped face and you want your forehead to go in a little more, you can actually extend it down into the brows, into the cheekbone. So now we're going to use our thinner brush to start blending at the nose, at the bridge. Try not to blend the darker color into the lighter color. In just a minute, I will show you how to highlight underneath your eyebrows to really make them stand out. But for now, let's continue just blending the lighter color, trying not to hit the darker color. We're gonna leave that. Use the larger brush when you get to your forehead and between your eyebrows, and go ahead. You can kind of switch between brushes depending on if you're having trouble getting into a space. And definitely blend into the eye as you saw me do there. Up into the inside corner of the eye really makes that eye lighten up quite a bit, and it reduces the amount of color you actually need to put on for eyeshadow. So we're just going to keep blending on the outer edge of the eye, kind of blend in an outward circling motion. And again, you can see me just going back and forth between brushes as needed to really get blended well. I've already done my eyebrows in this video, so that helps doing your eyebrows first, which we'll talk about eyebrows tomorrow. Then go ahead and continue blending on the upper lip. I'm using the narrower brush for this, and again, can use your fingers, can use your brush, whatever it is that you need to get that blended in. So once you have the lighter color blended in mostly, it doesn't need to be perfect, but mostly, we're gonna start and focus on the darker color. We will go back and blend everything really well at the end. Now we're gonna do the jawline. We're gonna do right along the jaw in a circling motion. If I were to open my mouth, you can see that line. That's not good. So what we wanna do is blend that in really well down into the neck and into underneath the chin. If you need to open your mouth in order to do that, to make sure that that line is gone when you are finished. Again, going back and forth between the two brushes just to get it completely blended in, opening my mouth there to see if I've removed that line. Anything I see line-wise, I'll just go ahead and do again. So now we're gonna blend the underneath the cheekbones, and this can be a little bit tricky. Go back and forth between the brushes. I like to use a circling motion, starting at my ear and going back and forth towards my cheekbone. Just keep blending until you feel like you've really reached a point where it blends in with all of your makeup. So once we've blended the cheekbones, we're going to start on the forehead, making sure we go towards the hairline as we do the circles. So you're blending the darker color towards the hairline mostly, and we'll worry about blending it into the lighter color in just a few minutes. You can see there's a definite difference between the dark and the light, and we'll do that at the very end. So once you're done with your forehead, that you've gotten that blended in nicely, we're gonna start on the inside of the nose. Using the skinnier brush, going along the inside of the nose, starting at the eyebrow, blending down towards the tip of the nose, and just keep kind of blending in a brushing stroke. Then when you get towards the nostril, kind of brush down onto the nostril and just keep blending that. You can see how my face is starting to come together. Now we're gonna blend all the colors together with the bigger brush. So just going over the entire face and making sure that the lighter color blends just a little into the darker color. You don't have stark lines or anything. You don't wanna blend them too much, but just make sure that there's no stark lines. So now you can really see the difference in one side of my face versus the other side of my face where there's no shadows or anything. But on this side, you can definitely see the darkening shadowed areas. And then my eyes are highlighted. So just showing the difference in the two sides of the face. So now we're going to move on to doing the cheeks and adding in some color on our cheeks. I like to use two of our blushes. One is called Pouty Pink. The other one is called Bronze Blush, and I mix them together. I put a little bit of bronze on my hand and then mix that with a little bit of the Pouty Pink. I'll put all of these colors at the end of the video. Just squeeze a little bit on your hand and use the back side of a small brush to mix the colors together. I don't think I showed that, but you can just mix it and then apply it to the cheeks in a circling motion right on the apples and blend back towards the ear. Then once you're finished with that, use your brush to kind of blend the contouring and the blush together. We'll blend a little bit more in a few minutes, but you can see it definitely adds some color to the cheek. And again, if you see any spots that need blending, just keep blending. So now I'm going to show you how to highlight under your eyebrow. We're going to take the lighter ivory color and the thinner contouring brush, and you're going to actually just dab a little on there, and you're going to run it right along the bottom edge of the brow, following the brow line, and kind of extend it a little bit past your brow so the color comes a little bit more towards the inner part of the nose and the outside past the edge of the brow. And this is going to create a lot of lightness on your eyes right under the brow. It also will create a really nice sharp line underneath your eyebrow. While that is drying and kind of setting up a little bit, I'm going to show you with Sandstone Shimmer Pearl. I like to just top off the very top of my cheek to give me a summer kind of sun-kissed shimmery look right on top of my blush, just at the very top line of my blush. I'll just use my finger first to kind of blend it in, and then I'll take the brush and blend a little bit more. Again, blending is your friend. Continuously blend. Use your fingers, use your brushes, whatever it is that you need. And you can see how that adds just a really nice kind of a sun-kissed shimmer to the sides of your cheeks. Now I'm going to use the same shimmer to highlight the top of my upper lip. This just lightens it up and gives you a little bit bigger appearance. You can see I've only done one side of my lip, so it's going to look funny, but it just kind of lightens up above the lip, which actually makes your top lip appear a little bit bigger and kind of curled up. So you can use your finger, use your brush, whatever it is you need to blend that in. And you can really see a difference in the peak of my lip there. So now just making sure that everything's blended in nicely, and we're gonna go back over the eyebrow and just blend that in. Try not to get it on the darker part of your eyebrow where you've already contoured, because we would do our eyebrows before doing this. And just keep blending it kind of in a stroking motion out towards the outside, towards the temple. Just make sure you have a little tail blended in, and it really gives you a lifted look on the eye. It pulls the eyebrow up. So now you can see that side of the face is definitely contoured on the chin, on the cheekbone, on the forehead area, underneath the brow. Along the inside of the nose, we did the darker, the lighter on the top of the nose, and it just created, it's almost a look having makeup on without actually having put a lot of other color or makeup on. This is a great summer look. You can see I have no line on my jaw, but it is darker underneath, kind of shadowing any hang down that you on your lower chin. So there's no contouring on that side of the face, and you can really see the difference. And lastly, if you want to go over it with a shimmer, it's just a full shimmer for more shimmer summer, because I love shimmer. We have a shimmer called Silver Rose that you can put over top. I've contoured the other side of my face. I started because I don't want to go out of the house walking around with only one side contoured, but for this video, this is just the shimmer at the end that I'm adding, and again, it's called Silver Rose. It's a translucent shimmer that is gorgeous, and it just gives you a little added pop on the cheekbones. Thanks for watching, and we'll be doing eyebrows tomorrow.